So I want to let everyone know that I'm done eating. I'm fasting. In fact, I will not eat again. And I have not eaten ever since I watched Brendan Fraser in the movie The Whale. At first, I was hoping to God that Brendan Fraser did not gain an excessive amount of weight to play this role. I mean, he was swapping weight classes like fucking BJ Penn. And that was my first thought. And it's part of their job, and it's incredible what these actors are capable of doing when they're given a few months to prepare for a role. But on the other hand, it's, we don't know the full health implications. This stuff has a huge impact on your health. Gaining and losing weight, doing cycles for, roles where you need to play a superhero or something like that. Like, that stuff has some serious health implications. And all of them are probably negative. I think this movie did a great job of kind of highlighting the severe impacts of morbid obesity. And I'm not talking like if the BMI scale says you're obese, because, that scale has flaws when it comes to taller people or bodybuilders or short and stocky. I'm talking like morbidly obese, like 100, 200, 300 plus pounds overweight. I mean, this movie is it hits you in the face with the negativity that surrounds that lifestyle. And what it did a great job of is kind of showing a little bit of that self-pity, that humorous nature, because he hates himself in this movie. And I feel that's very common with people who are unhappy with their current body. And, he tries to evade it with humor, witty remarks, little jokes here and there. But deep down, you could tell that he's in a terrible position. And this movie does a great job trying to highlight the kind of the psychological effects that has on someone. Here are some spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, go see it. If you don't care or you have seen the movie, then, continue, I guess. But essentially what it is Brendan Fraser is someone who is divorced. He left his wife for another man. And that man he ended up dying. He passed away in a tragic way. It was a suicide. And, he just sort of lost himself. He became addicted to food. He started using food as a coping mechanism. And honestly, that food intake sort of saved his life. Using food as kind of in psychology, there's something called harm reduction. Like if you feel the need to use drugs or anything like that. In kind of a therapeutic sense, they recommend doing an activity that can be seen as kind of more extreme. Like some people, when they want to use, they're like, oh, fuck, I'll save up money, I'll go get a tattoo instead. And they'll save up, they'll focus on that, and it's sort of like harm reduction. That's essentially what it is. But he used this, and there's no doubt that he would have went down the same path as his boyfriend. He probably would have taken his life if it wasn't for the food, and if it wasn't for his daughter being in the picture. Because throughout the entire movie, he doesn't care about his health. He's putting tons of money aside, whether or not that was truthful or not. I assume it was because he mentioned it, his ex-wife mentioned it, so I assume there's some truth behind that, but, gosh, he really didn't care about his health, and he sort of punishes himself in a lot of scenes by just food intake, getting into diabetic comas. It's a really shocking film, it's a shock value film, and this whole picture does a interesting job. Every scene is made to kind of subject you to feelings of, pity, uneasiness. There's a lot of scenes where you're like, oh gosh, what did I just watch? But, gosh, it's dark. It really is. And kudos for Brendan Fraser for accepting this role. I read online that they wanted him to gain weight, but he didn't gain enough, so he did a bodysuit and wore a whole bunch of makeup and everything. So good job for him for not subjecting himself to that kind of lifestyle. But gosh, we've seen him in some interesting roles. Like looking back on The Mummy, he was this witty action hero figure, and then this one is just complete page turner, complete opposite. It's a whole different kind of drama film. And what I like about this movie is that it kind of gives realism behind, morbid obesity. And again, I'm not talking, overweight by, 15 pounds or 30, 40. I'm talking severe, mental illness, morbid obesity, where you kind of, use food as that mechanism. And it's an addiction of some sorts. It is. It's identified as an addiction. And in the face of a lot of the body positivity, which you should feel happy for who you are, but on the other hand, you need to not settle with contentment. You need to actively try to improve your life and try to better your life. And if health from weight starts to become an issue, then you don't need to be in that. You could be happy with yourself, but you can also be not completely content. But I'm just a dumb kid in my mid-20s, I know a little bit, but I don't know everything. And this movie does a great job, I keep saying that, but it does a great job of highlighting the negativities. Because for everyone, there's always something you want to change. Physically, mentally, your hygiene, your health habits, eating habits. I mean, everyone has something they want to change. I mean, look at the whole New Year's resolution. I mean, so many people, I want to go to the gym, or I want to not smoke, I want to drink less soda, or caffeine, whatever it is. Everyone always has something they want to change. And, again, this movie is, like, right in your face with negativities. And, I don't know, I just wanted to share kind of my thoughts on it and encourage you to give it a watch. I mean, it's very... how do I put it? It's a movie that makes you feel uneasy if you are, sort of health conscientious, or just anyone. It makes you feel uneasy, and that's the whole goal of it. And gosh, I honestly had to say something about it. I mean, it was a great watch, and it had me thinking for quite a while on what I could change personally. And yeah. If you haven't watched it, you're in for something. But, yeah, thank you so much for watching. This is just a random video throughout the week, just to fill up the channel with content. If you like the video, click like. If you want to see more content, click subscribe. And, yeah, thank you so much. Have a good one.